this homework out. I'm not even going to pretend this is the second time me trying to do it, and I'm trying to get it under less than an hour. Find the missing length of the triangle. Let's hope that I can really kill it this time. I'm going to use my pen. We know we'll find the hypotenuse. We're using Pythagorean theorem, which is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. A squared is going to be 9 squared, which is 81. B squared is going to be 11 squared, which is 121. Then we have to get rid of that square. Well, I know 81 and 121 make 202. So when I get rid of the square sign and put a C here, I have to put the square root sign over 202. So it should be the square root of 202. There's no numbers that multiply to itself equal that. So I have to leave it in that form. Let's see what I got. Hey, look at that. Square root of 202. Let's go to number 3, write an equation in slope-intercept form for the line that passes through here. I know that the slope is going to be, let's see, x increases by 1 each time. Y increases by 3 each time. So that means, remember, I always put y over x as my slope. So when I have y equals my slope's got to be 3 over 1. And 3 over 1 is 3. So that's going to be 3x. Now I have to see what my starting point is. If I'm increasing by 1, that means I'm going to subtract 1 here, right? So I have to add 1. And that means this number is going to be 0, because 0 plus 1 is 1. And if I'm adding by 3, it means I'm going to subtract 3 here, right? And the only number I can add to 3 to get to 4 would be 1. So when x is 0, y is 1, that means my y-intercept is 1. So y equals 3x plus 1 should be my answer. Y equals 3x plus 1. All right, let's go ahead and get to number 5. Number 5 says the volume is 1 over 27 feet cubed. So I know I'm dealing with, let's see, the volume formula is V equals, right? V is going to be equal to, well, actually, this is a cube. So I know this is going to equal the sides times itself 3 times, right? Because length times width times height gives us this. So what we have here is 1 over 27 equals s to the third. To get that, or s to the third power, to get the third power out of there, I'm going to have to go ahead and put the cube, all right, cube root sign over 1 over 27. And any 1 as many times I want, it's still going to give me 1. But 27 should be 3, because 3 times 3 is 9, and 9 times 3 is 27. So 1/3 should be the length of my sides. Let's go ahead and check that. 1/3 foot, very good. All right, let's go to number 7. Finding the cube root of 227. All right, so what number multiplied to itself 3 times will give me that? Well, I'm going to just do some guessing here. I know that 5 cubed equals 125, because 5 times 5 is 25, and 25 times 5 is 125. I know that 10 cubed is going to give me 1,000, because that's 10 with, right, 1 with 3 zeros there. So since I know 729 is way closer to 1,000, I'm going to try 9 cubed. Okay, and 9 times 9, that's 81. And 81 times 9 is 729. So this number is going to be 9. Okay, let's go to the next one. Next we have number 9, and it says the cube root of negative 1,000. This is really easy because I know that if I'm cubing it, I need a negative number to get that number, because remember, a negative times a negative is a positive, and then times a negative is a negative. So this is going to be negative 10, because negative 10 times negative 10 is 100, positive 100, and then times negative 10 would make a negative 1,000. So I'm betting this is negative 10. There we are. Number 11, I've got the cube root of negative 1 over 512. Again, anything to the, anytime I got 1 there, I can do that as many times as I want. I know it's going to be a negative number. Now I got to say what number multiplied to itself will give me 512. I remember that we talked about 5 being too small, because that was going to be equal to 125. We found out that 9 was 729. And so what number is going to give me a 2 at the end of it? I would dare to say maybe 8. Let's just give it a shot. 8 times 8 is 64. And 64 times 8, well, 8 times 4 is 32. That's what we needed there. And then 6 times 8 is 48, plus 3 make 51, and that's perfect. So that means this must be negative 1 over 8. Negative 1 over 8 was our answer. Number 12 was for you to do. I'm going on to number 13. Number 13 is a little bit tougher here. I see that I'm going to have 18 minus this number. Remember, whenever I've got the cube root and the power of 3, I can cut them off, right? They nullify each other. So this is really just 18 minus 27. Remember, when we do this, we take the big number minus the small number. That's going to give us 9, right? And then we keep the sign of the big numbers. It should be negative 9. So I'm thinking the answer to this is going to be a negative 9. There we are. Let's go to number 15. Number 15 says I've got 5 times the cube root of 729 minus 24. I could have swore we found 729 before, and that was 9, right? So that kind of helped us out. This is really going to be 5 times 9 minus 24. 5 times 9 is 45. 45 minus 24. That's going to give us a 1 and a 2. So we should have got a positive 21 out of this. Let's see if we are correct. 21. There we go. All right, number 17 looks to be a little bit more challenging. We've got the cube root here, and then we're squaring something here. So I know 4 to the 3rd power is 64. I'm adding this to, well, let's start this here, the cube root of, we always do what's inside of here first. 9 minus 15 to the 2nd power is 225. And for verification, take 15 times 15. You can see that you're going to get 25, and that's going to give you 7. And then you're going to have 150. That will equal 225. All right, so now we got to do the math here. There's going to be 64 plus 3 times the square root of, basically we're going to be taking 9 away from here, right? And that's going to give us 2, let's see, that's going to be 6, right? and that's going to be a 1. So 216, negative 216. Well, remember this is the cube root. It's not plus 3. It's the cube root of negative 216. What number multiplied to itself will give us 216? We know it's not 5 because we said 5 times 5 times 5 was 125. So let's try 6. Because 6 times 6 is 36. 36 times 6 will give us another 6 at the end with 3. And 18 plus 3 is 21. So this means we've got 64 plus, this would be, actually this would be minus, right? That was a negative. This would be negative 6. And 64 minus 6 is going to give us 58. So the answer should be 58. And there it is. Number 19 is next. Number 19 says, I've got a the cube square of n over 4 plus n over 10, where n is 500. So this means we've got the cube root of 500 over 4. And we're going to add 500 over 10. All right. I know 500 over 10. I can cross out the zeros. That's going to be 50. But to find the cube root of this, first I have to take 500 divided by 4. And that's going to give me the cube root of 100, and 500 divided by 4 is 125. And we know that the cube root of 125 is 5, because 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. So now I got 5 plus 50. That's pretty easy, 55. 55 is my answer. All right, let's try number 21 next. Number 21 says I got d times 2, 2d plus the cube root of negative 45d when d is 75. So this is going to be 2 times 75. We're adding this to the cube root of negative 45 times 75. All right, so first, 2 times 75 is 150. That's pretty easy. Now I got to take 45 and multiply it to 75. 45 plus 75. 5 times 5 is 25. That's 35 plus 2 is 37. Put the 0 here. 4 times 5 is 20. Carry the 2. 7 times 4 is 28, 29, 30. It's going to give us 3375. So now I'm trying to find the cube root of, and this is a negative number, so this would be negative 3375. All right, so now I knew that 10 times 10 times 10 is 1,000, right? So since n ends in 5, I have to wonder if 15 could be my number, because 15 times 15 is definitely 225. If we multiply this to 15, 5 times 5 is still 25. We'll bring the 2 up here. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 2 is 12. Carry the 1. That makes this 11. And the 0 comes here, and then 225 comes here. Now I got to add these. That's going to give me a 5, a 7, a 3, and a 3. And that's exactly the number that I have in here. So now I can say I have 150, and I'm going to be adding, since this was a negative number, actually I'm not going to add it, I'm going to be subtracting 15. All right. 150 minus 15 is 135. So my guess is it's going to be 135. Yes, it is. Whew. Kind of doubted myself there, but I'm glad that I stuck by my guns. Let's go to number 23 now. Number 23 says, I've got t to the third power equals negative 343. What this means is I could take t, put this equal to the cube root of negative 343. And since I know 5 is too small, because that'd be 125, 2 would give me an even number. I'm going to go with 13 right now. So if I have 13 times 13, that's going to give me a 9. And let's see. Nope, I don't think this is going to work out. And yeah, because the next time I multiply this to 13, that's going to be 3 times 9. That won't work. And I got to figure out what number multiplied to itself 3 times will give me a negative 343. I got to check this out and investigate it just a little bit more careful here. There might not even be an answer to this. It might be just the cube root of negative 343, to be honest with you. Let's start from scratch here and think about it again. Now, I said that 5 to the third power equaled 130 or 125. So it's definitely not going to be 6. Oh, I see what I did. I was going by 15 before. Okay, so this tells me that since it's not going to be 6, because that would equal an even number at the end, let's try 7 to the third power instead. All right, 7 times 7 is 49. 49 times 7, that's 7 times 9. Oh, 63. There's that 3 we were looking for. Now we got 7 times, that's going to give me 343. Yep, perfect, because that's going to be 28 plus 6 is 34. So when I said that t equaled the cube root of negative 343, that means that t was going to be equal to negative 7. All right, let's just check my answer. Negative 7. Awesome. Whew. All right, let's go ahead and get to the next one. Number 25. On this one, I see that, first of all, I got to get rid of this negative 1/2. So I'm going to multiply it by negative 2 over 1, which is really just negative 2. That'll get rid of my negative 2's and my 1's and leave z3 there. But whatever I do to one side, I have to do the other. So I'm going to have to multiply this to negative 2. This is going to give me z to the third power is equal to, well, negative times a negative is a positive, right? So this is going to be 216. All right, and now to get z by itself, I have to see what is going to be equal to the square root, or the cube root, excuse me, of 216. I believe we said that when we had 5, that was to the third power, is going to be 125. This is an even number, so let's try 6 to the third power. 6 times 6 is 36. 36 times 6 is going to give us a 6 with a 3. 18 plus 3 is 21. There we go. So this is going to be z is equal to, I'm going with 6. Let's see how we did. Z is equal to 6. All right. Let's try this next one here, number 27. To do this first, I'm going to have to minus 750 from both sides. Right, and that's going to give me a negative. This is 0, a 5, and a 13, right? And that's going to equal 2 over 5 times k to the third power. My next step is going to multiply 5 over 2 to both sides in order to get rid of the 2/5. And whatever I do to one side, of course, I do to the other. So I'll have to multiply this to 5 over 2. These cancel each other out. So now I've got k3 by itself, k to the third power. And that's going to be equal to, well, I got to take 1,000. Well, I guess I could put this over 1, right? And then I could say half of 1,350. Half of 1,350 is going to be, let's see, a 6, and then 2 is a 7, and then there's going to be, I guess, is 5, pretty sure. We'll just double check 1,350 divided by 2. That will be a 6, leaving me with, see, this is 12, leaving me with 150, right? And half of 150 is 75. So now I'm going to have to multiply that to 5. Okay. And that's going to be a 5, a 2 up here, 35 plus 2 is 37. This is going to be 33. All right, so on this side, it's going to be 3375. All right, and remember, we've got to get this k away from the third power, which means I have to take this cube root of 3,375. I'm pretty sure we already said that was 15 times 15 times 15, which is 15 to the third power. 15 times 15 is 225. 225 times 15, as I recall, equal 3,375. So this is going to be 15. Now this was a negative number, right? As I recall, yep, a negative. So that would have meant that we were multiplying negative 615 times 5. So this would have been negative, so this would have to be a negative 15. Let's see how I did. K is equal to negative 15. Oof. All right, it's time to go on to number 29. 29 says the volume of the cube of ice for the ice sculpture is 64,000 cubic feet. So they want to find one edge. Remember, this is a cube, so the edge is going to be multiplied to itself 3 times to find the volume. So this is basically going to be a side cube, right, which is equal to 64,000. We will get rid of this and put the cube root over here. And I think it's going to be fine because we know that 4 times 4 is 16, and 16 times 4 is 64. So we can say then that S has to be, I'm going to go with 40, because then we have 40 times 40 will be 1,600. 1,600 times 40 will be 64,000. Let's see if I got that correct. Very good. 40 inches. Yep, inches. What is the surface area of the cube? All right. If we know each side is 40 inches, then we can take 40 times 40, that's 1,600, and then multiply it to 6 sides. And that's going to give me a 0, a 0, a 36, and a 9. I'm going to go at 9,600 surface area inch squared. So let's see how that turns out. 9,600 inch squared. 30 is for you to do. Let me go ahead and get to 31. 31 is over here, and it says I've got which is bigger. And if I'm comparing these, I definitely see that when I find the cube root of this side, this is going to give me 2, because 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. This number definitely will be negative. And then 5, because 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. So now what is bigger? Would you want 2 out of 5 pieces or 1 out of 4 pieces of pizza? Uh, well, I would want 2 over 5. Let's remember both these numbers are negative. So on the number line, this number is actually going to be smaller. So I would say that this should be the greater than sign. Let's go see how that works out. It is the greater than sign. 32 is for you to do. Let's go ahead and check out number 33 now. 33 says we've got 60, or the cube root is 64. We already know that's 4, because 4 times 4, right, times 4 is going to be 64. And the square root is 64. That's 8 times 8. And we do know that 8 is bigger than that. I'm saying the less than symbol is probably right. Very good. Let's move on to 35. To do number 35, we're going to have to do a little searching here. We've got 8 to the 8x to the third power minus 9 to the third power. I could apply this third power all over the place. I could also remember if this was a number, I'm allowed to take this and cube it. So what I'm going to do is take a little shortcut and say 8x to the third power. We're going to minus 9. Now it's going to be equal to cube root of 5,832. Okay. Now I've got to say what number multiplied to itself will give us this. We did say that before, if we had 10 cubed, that was going to be just 1,000. So that's going to be bigger than 10. I'm thinking when we said it was 15, it added up to, let's see, 15 cubed added up to about 3,375, I believe. So it's got to be bigger than that. And it's an even number, so I'm inclined to believe it might be, could be 16. Let's give it a shot. I got 16 times 16. That's going to be, give me, not sure that's going to work, because then I'll have another 6. So maybe not. How about 17? Well, 17 is almost sure to give me an odd number at the end. I guess I'm, see, 16 times 16 is 36, right? And then when I add another, or multiply another 16, it should not give me this number here. I'm going to have to think about this one here. All right, since I know 16 isn't going to work, I'm going to have to go to 17. The reason I said it wouldn't work is this is going to be 36, right? So when we get our number, and I know that there's going to be a 0 here, so whatever number this is going to end in 6. When I multiply it to 16, I'm going to get a 36 again. So I can't add up to this. Let's try 17. I'm going to move this away. And I kind of thought 17, kind of figured it's not going to work. I should get an odd number, but I better check it before I go to 18. So if this is true, that'd be 17 times 17. That's a 9, 49. This will give us, well, this will give me 7 times 1 is 7 plus 4, make 11. And then a 0 here and 17 would give me a 9, an 8, and a 2. Now I got to multiply it to 17 again for that third power. 9 times 7 is, 72. So that would be a 2. This would be 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 60. Let me add something. 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63. So this would be 63. This is going to be 14 plus 6 is 20. 0 goes here, and then 289 comes down here. The 2 will end it off. I will get 9 plus 3, which is 2 again. Or is it? Let's see here. I want to make sure I'm getting this right. 9 times 7 is 72. 56 plus 7, 56. 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, just like I said. Then 6 over here, 14 plus 6 is 20, that's right. And then we're going to have 289 that we're bringing down here. We have to add them together. This would give us 2 plus 0, 2. 3 plus 9 is 2. Right? And then this would be 8. And this would be 4. Okay, so that didn't quite work out the way I hoped it would. Let me do a little exploring before I waste any more time. I'm guessing I got no choice since actually this would have been a 9 because we would have added 1 over here. We got no choice though but to go to 18s because 17 just isn't adding up. So feeling like I did a lot of work on this one. Let's try 18 now. Okay, so 18 times 18 will be, see, this would be 64. We got the 6. This would be 8 plus 6 is 14. Then we'll have 18 over here with a 0. So my answer is a 4, a 2, carry the 1, 324. Then we're going to multiply that to 18. 4 times 8 is 32. 2 times 8 is 16, 17, 18, 19. Carry the 1. 24, 25. All right, now we're going to put 3, 2, 4 here with a 0. This is going to give me a 2. That's a good sign. 9 plus 4 is 13. That's a good sign. This will be 8. Hey, I think we finally found it. So it's going to be 18. So this is going to be equal to 8x to the third power minus 9 is equal to 18. Okay? Wow. Sorry, that took so long. Now, I got to combine my like terms, right? First, I'm going to add 9 to both sides. This is going to give me 8x to the third power. Okay. This is going to give me equals, well, 18 plus 9 is 27. I'm going to divide by 8, right, to get x to the third power by itself. That doesn't give me nothing, so I'm going to have to take the x now and put it equal to the cube root of 27 over 8. Okay, I'm going to erase some of this to give me some work now, room I should say. And let's see where I can go from here. Let's try to get my pen back up. So this is going to be equal to x is going to be equal to, well, the cube of 27 is 3, because 3 times 3 is 27. And the cube of 8 is 2. So I guess our answer is going to be x equals 3 over 2. Hoping it is. Yes, x is equal to 3 over 2. I'm going to erase all this ink. And there's the work, just like I showed it. Wow. Very grateful that that worked out well. 37 is next. Says you bake a dessert in the baking pan shown. You cut the dessert into a cube-shaped piece of equal size. Each piece has a volume of 8 cubic inches. How many pieces did you get from one pan? All right. Well, if we do this, we're going to take, remember, this is going to be S cubed because we're talking, this is the area of the square base, right? And it says, how many pieces do you get? So they're talking, you cut the dessert into cubes, that's going to be cubed, 3 sides, right? And they're all going to be the same length. So that's going to equal cube 8. Why did we say 8? Well, because it says each piece has a volume of 8 cubic inches. Okay, it equals 8. So we're going to go ahead and take the cube root, right, away from it, which means we cube this side, and the cube root of 8 will be 2. So the side lengths of each piece of the dessert is 2 inches. So each piece has a base area of 4 square inches. So there are 64 over 4. That's going to equal 16 pieces in the pan. All right? So 16 pieces should be your answer. Let's move on to number 39. You have 38 to do. 39 says, I got a formula here for the volume of a pyramid. The volume is 1/3 LWH. If I'm solving this one looks like a fun one to solve. If the volume says is 972, we could say 972 is equal to, right up here, 1/3 times the length, that's L, times the width, and then the height. And the height is 1/2 X. Okay, so that's going to be times 1/2 X. All right, so now I can take, let's see, I can take 1/3 and multiply it to 1/2. This should give me 972 is equal to 1/6. And since this is a square base, you can see this is X and this is X. So you could just change this to X squared, right? And that would leave you with this X times X that's over here. So this could be 972 equals 1/6 times X to the 3rd power. Now I have to multiply this to 6 to get rid of the 1/6, which means I have to multiply this side to 6. All right? And this is going to be X to the 3rd power now. I'm going to have to find what is 972 times 6. That's going to give me 12 carry the 1, 42, 43, right? And that's going to give me 54, so that'll be 58. So, wow, this is going to be 5,832. To get X alone, I'll get rid of that cube, but I will have to bring this and give me the cube root of 5,832. Wow, that's a big number. I thought that we already solved for this once, so I'm going to give it a shot. We said that 5 cubed was going to be 125. That's not near enough. We said that 15 cube was, I thought that was 3,375, if I remember right. We still need something bigger. We could try 16 or 17. I could have swore we said it was 18. I'm going to double check here. Maybe it's too much. 18 times 18, we said was 64, right? Then times, that'd be 6 up here. This would be a 14. This would be 18 over here with a 0. And we said that would be 4, 2, and 3. And we said we multiply it to 18. This would give us the 32 that we wanted. This is going to give us 16, 17, 18, 19. Carry the 1. This would be 24, 25. And we said that this was going to be 3, 2, 4 with a 0 at the end. And that gave us the 2. That gave us the 3. That gave us the 8 and the 5. Very good. So that's perfect. This is going to be 18. X is equal to 18. Let's give it a shot here. If that's 18, then 1/2 x up here, that would make the height 9. So x would equal 18, and then the height would equal 9 according to this, because we said 1/2 of x, right, was equal the height, and 1/2 of 18 is 9. So let's see how we did. Looks like I got it right on target. The side lengths of the square base is 18, and the height of the pyramid is 9 inches. And there's the work to back me up. All right, I think we're good with this. So we're going to call it quits and have a good night.